I'm Curtis Marshall, and you are watching the Best Practices Show. Go.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Best Practices Show, where we take a look at the best business practices from the best dental practices all over the world. And one of the biggest changes in all of dentistry is the data revolution. And today we're going to show you how you can supercharge your performance with your entire team. And as a dentist, you don't even have to do anything. And you're going to do it with one finger, and you're going to do it fast in your practice, whether you do it in a morning huddle or a team meeting. You do not want to miss this. It will change performance for everybody in the practice with my good friend Curtis Marshall from Dental Intel. So stick around, grab a pen and hit the share button. You're going to love it. Now, a couple show notes. We are shooting this live like we always do on Facebook. So if you have questions, add them to the feed and I'll dish them to Curtis right away while we have them on the show. Or if you have questions later on, continue to add them to the feed and I'll have Curtis get back to you, because I want you to get the most out of this when you're on the show. Now, one more thing. As you're watching this as a dentist, don't just keep the information to yourself. Share these videos with your team members so they have a chance to understand what you're thinking. And it'll give them an opportunity to be better in every sense of the word. This is unbelievable. And you're going to find that most people aren't even using this incredible feature. Keep sending us suggestions for shows. We are up over 39,000 followers on Facebook. Over 150,000 of you have visited us on iTunes. And this is our 201st show, Curtis, in less than 2 years. And dude, I'm just so grateful to have you on. You're just an incredible resident expert, authority, leader, everything. So I am a big fan. You know, a lot of people who watch the show are big fans of Dental Intel, Curtis Marshall. If somebody's watching this for the first time, who is Curtis Marshall and what is Dental Intel?
Oh, thanks, Kirk. And yeah, 201? Are you kidding me?
Bam.
That's pretty exciting.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. As always, thanks for letting me be on with you. Seriously, this is a highlight of my week, being able to talk about and how to increase patient care. Because that's ultimately what we're doing. The Best Practices Show isn't just about getting the practice to be better, because when we increase the practice, we're increasing patient care. But like you said, my name's Curtis Marshall. I have a wonderful family with 3 little girls and even a little Labradoodle dog, a new dog in our family that we absolutely love. And I have a passion of sharing actionable data to all team members, not just the doctors. And so that's what we're going to be talking about through today, is making sure that everybody knows where to improve, not just the doctor or not just one person in the office, but everyone knows exactly what to improve. And so that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and what you and I are going to talk about later is when you have those kids like that and you buy one dog, you don't really have one dog. You got a second dog on the way. So don't do it, because they need a friend. They need a brother or sister, and you should say no. No, I love my dogs. Now, we're going to talk about the data revolution here, because now over 6,000 installs you guys have done in Dental Intel and climbing by the day. What people are learning is that data doesn't lie. It tells the whole truth, whether it's a bad input, bad output. Data doesn't lie. It's unemotional. It tells you exactly what's going on. If I'm your cardiologist, I'm going to pull your lipids. You can tell me anything you want. Your lipids tell the whole story. And so this has really changed the way people practice, because now, you know, in other shows we've done, we've described leading and lagging indicators. But today we're going to take it to a whole nother level, because what often happens is dentists get on a platform that's amazing, like Dental Intel. And you guys break it down really simple on how to look at your practice. But what happens is most dentists just look at it on their computer. And what we're going to show you today is how to stop that and start spreading the wealth on this information. And we're going to do it with one finger. And how are we going to do it, Curtis?
Well, we're going to do it. Do you want me to give it away right now?
Let's give it away right now. Go there, brother.
You know what? It's great that you have the data you can pull it on a computer and everything else, but the future and what everyone's moving to is actually a real app, not just the internet on your phone, but an app. And so we're just going to show you how to utilize as a provider in your office, as a team member in your office, how to look and monitor numbers with an app. It's called the Dental Intel app. Go ahead and check it out. Even if you don't have Dental Intel, you can check it out. It's the Dental Intelligence app in your Apple Store or in your Google Play Store.
All right. Now, I'm a big fan, as you're going to see, so watch this with your own lenses on this. But Curtis, one of the things that we're learning when we're coaching an office is the fundamental principle that you and I have talked about. When you measure data, it improves. But when you measure and report on it, it exponentially improves. And so while you have this data, what team members are missing is the opportunity to be part of influencing it and making it better. And what I found over and over again is if you're the only one that knows this stuff and you're reporting to the team members on how they've done, you're missing more than half the opportunity. What we're going to be talking about today is scheduling a regular team meeting or a regular huddle and just having your team members, your admin team, your hygiene team, and your chair-sided team just report on a couple numbers. So, Curtis, give us your thoughts on that whole concept.
Well, yeah, so I love this, Kirk. So even your team members that are working with offices across the country, right?
Right.
They are noticing, they're the ones with the boots on the ground. They're the ones who are trying to figure out, hey, how can I increase this? If I'm the doctor or I'm the office manager, I know the numbers, it's just going to get me frustrated or I'm going to be happy, and it's not due to anything necessarily. It's just the numbers themselves. Right. The only way to truly improve is to have each team member have and know exactly what to improve on. If they don't know what to improve on and you say, go do better, go produce more, they're going to try. They're going to run around, they're going to try, but they're not going to do what truly needs to be done, right?
Right. Now, let me just go there and I'm going to be honest. Yeah. As a dentist, you only pay for two things. You pay for results and you pay for incredible behavior within your core values, which is culture. You don't really pay for anything else. You don't pay for friends. You don't pay because they show up. You pay for results and you pay for behavior within your core values and your culture. That's the honest truth. And so you want to give team members the opportunity, the rules to win. And so we're going to go through each department, and hygiene's probably the easiest place to start. So Curtis, I'm going to introduce you the metrics that we like the most, which is going to be visits, production per visit. And then we're going to take a look at open time and maybe perio percentage of appointments. Walk us through. If I'm a hygienist, now please hear this. I don't care how big your team is. This should only take a couple minutes. It should not be about money. It should be about how well are you doing individually. Now, one more thing I want to say is I don't think it's a good idea to have somebody report on the entire department's health because individuals can hide behind the department health. It's better to have the individual report on how they are doing, their PPV, their visits, their open time, and their perio production. So how would I do that if I'm a dentist or if I'm a hygienist watching this in a short little blimp in a team meeting?
Okay, well, first off, Kirk, I'm going to show you something that you haven't even seen yet on the app. Okay. So you mentioned one of the first things we want to see are visits, right? We want to know what's going on. In order for us to even see our schedule when we're at home, or what we've done in the past, we've done what's called remote login. We remote log in, right? We look at our schedule and it takes forever. Once you move the mouse, then it takes forever. All doctors have done this, right? So now what you have, in order to increase visits, you can see on an app, so it's just a simple little app, exactly what's going on for your own specific practice. See this right here, Doctor, it's a little squirt out, but it's Dr. Cam who's working right here. All I have to do is click on his name, and it's going to show us all the patients that he's seeing. Now, I'm blurring this out for HIPAA reasons, right? But this is showing us all the patients' names. Now, if you'll notice, right here at 1 o'clock, see these two little dots right there?
Yep.
Okay? Those two dots are telling me there's something going on with that patient. How can you increase production and performance with those two patients? You don't know this practice, but how can I increase that patient?
Yeah, you're looking at, and again, I need my glasses. Hold on. So they've got a balance of $2,983, and there's unscheduled treatment with this particular patient for $6,436.
All you have to do for that $6,000, click one button. It's going to pull up all the treatment for that patient.
Dude,
Bam.
you're blowing my mind.
You
It's
can
crazy.
now see with your visits that are coming to the office. Oh, and we didn't even mention that right back there. So I'm going to go back.
The unscheduled family members right there too.
Oh, that's true too. Unscheduled time. You have 20 minutes of free time right there. That's the only free time that he's got. If I go back and look at the hygienist, see the free times? We can see exactly when we got free time in there.
Wow.
Right?
That's awesome. So let's go back to hygiene. So, because I want to stay focused. That is unbelievable, buddy.
So we're going to stay on hygiene. These are my hygiene as a provider, as Chelsea. This is Chelsea, the hygienist. These are the patients that she's seeing. She didn't put in her goal yet, but out of 8 hours that she's working, she has scheduled $2,000, and she has $14,000 of unscheduled treatment. She can go down and see all of her patients so she can take best care of her patients. So when this patient comes in, she can talk to them about their $4,000 of unscheduled treatment, and she knows about it before it happens. If I knew as I'm running a race, right, that there is going to be a big obstacle, and I know everything about that obstacle, so I ran what's called the Spartan race. You ever hear about those?
Yeah. Okay. Tough Mudder, Spartan race, love them all.
All those, right? You actually, if you don't know what an obstacle is, it's very hard to train on how to jump over a wall if you don't know that there's a wall, right? But if I know that there's a wall there and I train for it and I get ready for it, when I get to that wall, boom, I'm up and over it. We now know all the obstacles that are out there to increase patient care. It's right here on our phone.
Yeah, now it's overwhelming when you look at this. Yeah. One of the things I'm going to point us back to, Curtis, though, let's just do this. So I can see the updates on your phone. It's all good. It's all good. So if you're a dentist and you have a team, you're probably going to want to report on PPV visits per week. So if you're doing this once a week, hygienists are going to report my PPV last week on average was this. My visits last week on average was this, because watch a previous episode, you're going to see that compounding the profitability formula like that, you're going to have exponential results. Now, Curtis, I want you to take us into the perio. Well, let's talk about open time and PPV and visits per provider.
So you have your schedule, but you also have stats. So these are your personal stats. These are the stats of the practice, or I can change it and look at the stats of an individual person. We're going to go ahead and look at Chelsea's. Okay. I can also look at her stats based on certain time frames. So
bring that closer. I love it. So in that snapshot, you've got production per visit, you've got hygiene reappointment percentage, which is a critical factor, and then you've got average treatment, what's that say, presented, and then you also have 0.86. Take us through each one of those. I love it.
Okay, so these are just metrics that we have assigned for Chelsea. She can actually get more. So there's more that she can turn on or off. Like, for example, if I turn on production per hour for her and I come back here to close, she now has production per hour on her list there, but I want production per hour to be somewhere else. So I drag this, bring it down. We want to talk about hygiene visits per hour, right? I'm going to take that to the very top. So I just moved it to the top. So now it's going to be on the very top. So it's going to rearrange your own little dashboard to be exactly how you want, so you can present and report back to the team. Like you mentioned, Kurt, when performance is measured, performance improves. When it's reported back, the rate of improvement accelerates. This is proven everywhere with human performance.
Mm-hmm. So absolutely. Now I want you to show us again the open time thing, because that blew my mind. You now can calculate how effective you are in scheduling for hygiene or any provider based on the point of open time. Talk to us about that.
Correct. So for last week, this provider, Chelsea, was 0.86, meaning that she had a hygiene visit per hour 0.86% of the time, which tells us that 14% of the time she was sitting around twiddling her thumbs.
Which is bad.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I look at just yesterday, if I come in here and look at yesterday, so it's going to change these metrics, right? It's going to update everything. What's her hygiene visits per hour yesterday.
It's hard for me to see. I can't. What do you got there? 1.12?
Yeah, so she actually saw more patients. How could you see more patients than one in an hour? Well, maybe you're doing double hygiene or you're doing something else, but this is now able to show you per hour that they're in the office, how many visits they are seeing so that you can see open time. Really, really powerful. Month to date so far, 0.65. Now, what's cool about this, if I go ahead and click on this metric right here, it takes just a second to upload because it's quite a bit of data, but it's going to show me, what is it, the weekly, the daily, the monthly, and the 12-month history of this specific metric, because that's what I clicked on, for this specific person, Miss Chelsea. And the survey says here, as soon as it pulls up, there we go. So on average, she's a daily average of 0.87. On average weekly last week, she was 88%. These are her percentages every month. What are you noticing about the trend of her, this metric?
Yeah, her monthly average is 0.91%, but as you can see, it's starting to trend down with the trend line right there. Yeah.
So it's red, which means it's trending down. And in the past, she used to be at 1 point in December of last year, she was 1.12. Mm-hmm. So why is she trending down? What changed in the office? If you swipe right, it actually shows you and ranks her compared to every other person in the office. So when you look at Stephanie, now granted, this is probably not, this is my dummy data, but this now can show you exactly what's happening with each provider within your office as well, and compare and rank you to everyone else. So you know where to improve, not just go do better. And that's one little metric right there.
Now, this is blowing my mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to just bring this home for a dentist that might be watching this. Here's the point. You don't want each person reporting on 30 metrics. Where you are as a practice is going to determine what's the most important thing. When we are coaches, we go in and determine the single most important things that we have to improve for the next 13 weeks, get those good, and then move on to more metrics. That's your job today, is figure out where do we need the most improvement. If you need help, we're so happy to do it. We'll get on a call after Curtis has plugged it in, and I'll show you, fix this one, fix this one, fix this one. For 13 weeks, watch things get better, then we'll pick others. Here's what you want to do. You want to have each team member pull up their phone, and then everybody reports on the same 5 things for that department. You're going to see a couple things. It's going to get a little weird because you're going to have hygienists become a little competitive. The other thing you're not going to have is you're not going to have a hygienist go, yeah, I was open half the time last week and we're good. That's not going to happen either, because no one wants to report bad data. They're going to get weirdly competitive. Even the doctors, if you're a doctor and you're in a partnership, and you're a little disgruntled that your partner doesn't do as much as they should, just report it once a week and you'll see things will go, because nobody wants to be in second or third place. Nobody does. I don't want to be in second place. I want to be number 1. And the other thing you can do is you can use best practices from one op to the next. If you got a hygienist that's crushing it, let's spend a day and learn from her. What are you doing that we're not doing? And a lot of the DSOs are doing this. They'll take a high-performing hygienist and they'll couple her or him with somebody that's not performing so well, and they'll say, just shadow them for a day. And that's worth its weight in gold. Right, Curtis?
Kirk, that's really key, because what we notice is by a team utilizing the app here, one finger, like we mentioned before, right? You can now see these numbers. We had a hygienist that for some reason, she kept reporting on her numbers and she increased her acceptance percentage over 20% over the rest of the hygienist. 20, okay? So they said to her, what are you doing different? Or what are you doing? And she goes, I do this, I do this, I do this. And then when I take them up front, I introduce them to Janice or whoever it is up front. I forget her name. Introduce her to Janice, and I tell Janice, this is my patient. I loved her. We talked about the fair, but she has some perio she needs to get done. Will you help her to get that perio done? All of a sudden, the rest of the hygienists went, I'm handing off the patient to Janice, but all I'm saying is, Janice, will you take care of this patient? And they're walking away. They found out, because they were reporting on the data exactly why someone was doing better. She spewed on what she did, and then everyone else, without the doctor even saying, you need to do better and this is what you need to do. They knew what to do. They listened to the lead hygienist, and now they're doing it. The doctor didn't have to do anything.
The kick is up, and it is good. So here's the point. Let's bring this all home. As a dentist, you got too much going on. Give everybody the opportunity to win in your office. Tell them what you expect. For the next 13 weeks, we're working on each department. You guys are going to be working on these 5 things. I want you to report on them once a week or every morning. It shouldn't take but a couple minutes. It's a reporting session. It's not a fixing session. Report. I guarantee you the numbers will go up and people will learn from each other. And you'll sit back as a dentist and go, oh my gosh, I could just work on teeth. I don't have to look at reports all day. I don't have to try to figure. Let your team win. But they have to win by, number one, knowing the rules, and they got to know what to measure so they can go back and help each other. Now, I know you have to leave in a couple minutes, and I don't want you to leave. You're going to determine the 5 metrics for each of your departments. They're going to report them. They're going to use their phone. Curtis, the truth of this is very few people, more than 6,000 installs. The percentage is so crazy low of people using the app. It's growing, but people are still stuck on the desktop. They've got to move to the next stage, which is put it in your hand. Give us some perspective on that.
Yeah, so what we're finding is that gamification and all of that of getting team members to really utilize an app is much more beneficial than a computer and looking at it on a browser. It's in the palm, like you said, it's in the palm of your hand. We can use it with our finger. We can do things really quickly. It's for me. Let's make sure we're doing okay here. I think so. You can see that if I haven't replied to your email yet, you now know why. But I have the app right here on my main thing, and all I have to do is click on it and it brings it right up. For security purposes, you have a thumbprint security so that or whatever code, if you don't want to do that, just put the username password in. But for HIPAA purposes, this is great because now we can take better care of our patients at any place and time, yet it's super secure. In fact, it's called what's called hyper HIPAA compliant. Hyper HIPAA compliant is what this is.
Dude, I love it. Now, we're going to offer all of our viewers a free snapshot. We'll post the link in the body of this. But Curtis, if somebody's listening on iTunes, how can I find this? How do I get started on this? Where do I go?
Great. So all you need to do is either reach out to our website, dentalintel.com, or you can call us directly. In fact, just call us at 801-717, well, you're probably driving, 2777. But you mentioned the Best Practices show with the beautiful Kirk, and we will definitely give you a great deal. This is something that we love working with you guys listening here because you guys are the ones who are actually wanting to improve patient care. There's other doctors out there that aren't listening to this show that aren't focusing on patient care. If you're focusing on patient care, we want to help you out, and so we're going to give you that free snapshot.
Absolutely. And again, you get a chance to try it for 30 days. If you don't like it, go do something else. But here's the bottom line. If you're listening to this and you're thinking it's all about money, it's not. Your ability to enjoy dentistry long-term depends on one thing, that you make progress every year. Your practice gets better. The conditions get better. People are more aware. And this is one of the greatest ways you can do it is give your team members the rules. Give them the opportunity to win and let them run with it, and you'll be so surprised by what happens. Curtis, I'm so grateful for all that you help us with. You and I are going to cover a whole bunch more topics. I think we may have lost him. Curtis, we lose you?
I'm here.
Oh, I lost you for a second. But Curtis, thank you so much. I know we got to let you go, but stick around while we say goodbye to everybody else. Thank you guys for watching.
Yep. Hey, and just remember, everyone out there, we can't do it on our own. We need the team to be with us, right? And if we're hiding these numbers from our team members, from the other providers, from the other team members, then they can't improve. They're just going to try harder without really improving. So let's put it in the palms of their hands. Let them use their fingers. Let's go. Bow.
That's awesome. So thank you guys for watching the Best Practice Show. If you enjoyed today, just do us a favor, hit the share button. Keep sharing it with your friends, your colleagues. Keep sending us suggestions for shows that you want to see from Curtis and our other guests. We'll do our best to line them up. And until we see you next time, keep watching the Best Practices Show. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.